Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first real episode of Star Wars Battlefront 2 Feature Request. So today, I know I said that I was going to do my own videos, but I did get quite a few comments on the last episode, so I will be going over at least the main one that really showed itself through the comments, through all 4 of the comments that I got. But seriously, there were some good ones, and so the most common thing that was requested was the Clone Wars. Clones versus droids before the Galactic Empire existed. And that was from Chandler Oral and Martin Fusion. Both of those guys want to see the Clone Wars, and I want to see the Clone Wars too. I've said that multiple times before, that I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be based in the Clone Wars era, and it will be based solely in the Clone Wars era. And so I was thinking about saving this topic for a different video, but now getting into it, this is what I really want to talk about. I really hope that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is in the Clone Wars era. It's pretty given that it is going to be in the Clone Wars era, because as I've laid out before, the business model, first Star Wars Battlefront game covers the original trilogy, second Star Wars Battlefront game comes out in line with Episode 8, and it covers the prequel trilogy, and then we have Star Wars Battlefront 3, presumably, which comes out and covers the sequel trilogy, which is what I'm calling this new trilogy 7 through 9. So with that being said, under the assumption that Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be the Clone Wars era, I do not want to see any other era in the game. I don't think we should be crossing eras in Star Wars video games anymore, because that not only breaks canon, but with the fact that there are now unlock systems and other things like that, and an unlock system, no matter what you feel about it, it is a mandatory part of a modern first-person shooter, and now that we have unlock systems, you cannot cross eras. That will not work. As well as the fact that learning vehicle mechanics for different vehicles, we don't want vehicles to just be reskinned versions of other vehicles, as well as we don't want to have the same guns in each and every era, because we know they didn't use the exact same guns in each and every era. So, like, let's say that let's say I'm playing in the Galactic Civil War era, and I just unlock myself the EE3 or the E11 blaster rifle, and I'm so psyched to use it, but the next 16 games I play are in the Clone Wars era. That's going to be really fucking frustrating. So I hope that they only keep it to the Clone Wars era. I think that would be absolutely the best. So now we have clones versus droids. There's so much more that they could actually do with this. They could bring customization to this more, because as we've seen throughout many different mediums, even in the canon movies, but as well in the canon Clone Wars series, we see variants of Stormtrooper armor, as well as we see variants in coloring of Stormtrooper armor, as well as camouflages of Clone Trooper armor. So I think that we could definitely see a lot more customization options in Star Wars Battlefront 2 in the Clone Wars era. However, I don't know how much customization we would see with droids. Maybe you can customize some of the nuts and bolts on your droid, but for the most part, I don't really see us getting much droid customization, as well as potentially droid classes, because as it stands right now, Star Wars Battlefront is 2 open class systems, so I don't see them instituting classes in Star Wars Battlefront 2 just so they could incorporate a super battle droid and a droideka, and those are 2 that are absolutely essentials to a Star Wars Battlefront video game, because those are 2 of the most powerful droids. If we just have regular droids running around, I don't know if we're gonna get it. And if we do get a super battle droid and it's just a skin, like the Shadow Trooper and the Scout Trooper are, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed. Because if I'm a super battle droid, I want a fucking wrist rocket launcher. I want the wrist blasters. That's what I want, because that's what a super battle droid uses. But if the super battle droids are just a customization skin, that is gonna piss me off to no fucking end, and that's gonna piss the rest of the community off to no fucking end, because you can't have a super battle droid going around carrying a blaster rifle. That is not right. That is sickening if you do that. If there are super battle droids, you need to have them be actual super battle droids. A Magna droid or a Magna Guard or whatever, sure, they can be that. What are those stealth droids from the Clone Wars series? I don't remember their names, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The Commando droids. I think that's it. The Commando droids. If those are just skins for regular droids, that's okay. Now, one of the other things that Martin Fusion brings up is he wants to see the vibroblades and the counter vibroblades, which are similar to knives. And I think that's a pretty good idea, because let's be honest, just the hitting someone with your elbow isn't really satisfying in Star Wars Battlefront. Plus, in Republic Commando, we had that nitty-gritty wrist blade you could just come up and stab a droid with or stab a Geonosian with. I think that was pretty cool. Maybe the gore not coming on the screen in the new Star Wars Battlefront, but even just using that, just a wrist blade knife, is pretty cool. And Martin Fusion also brings up space battles. That's a whole nother video, whole nother thing. Now, the maps that they could potentially do in Star Wars Battlefront 2. If they did the Clone Wars, there's a lot more maps because we see a lot more planets in Star Wars Battlefront, or not in Star Wars Battlefront, in the prequel trilogy. You've got Naboo, you've got Tatooine, you've got Coruscant, you've got Kashyyyk, you've got Felucia, you got Megiddo, you got Kamino. There's all these different planets, and there better be a lot more maps in the base game than there were in Star Wars Battlefront. If there's not, I don't know, like, at least 16 maps in the base game available for every game mode, well, not probably every game mode, but if there's not at least, like, 8 maps, we'll say 8 maps for every single game mode. And I know people are going to be like, 8 maps, that's nothing. But if you think for, like, every single game mode, like, we have 8 big maps and 8 small maps for Star Wars Battlefront, if that were the case, Star Wars Battlefront would be a lot better game because there would be a lot more variety. And so in Battlefront 2, if there's not 8 maps for each and every type of game mode, if there's not 8 big, 8 little, that's going to be extremely disappointing because there's so many different places they could take this, because not only has the prequel era been explored so much through the actual films themselves in terms of planets, but the Clone Wars series brought us to so many more planets and gave us an insight to so many more planets as well, that if we don't see a shit ton of maps right out of the gate, it is going to be very disappointing, and I don't know if I would really consider supporting Star Wars Battlefront. But that's the first episode. First real episode of Feature Request is the Clone Wars era. If we don't see the Clone Wars era, I'm going to be angry. I know there's more comments with more things that I can cover, and I plan on covering those in future episodes. So Noah Conley, who suggested Galactic Conquest, Campaign, and Instant Action, those will definitely be in a new video. Those will probably actually be their own videos. So I'm going to keep this series running for a while. So if you guys do enjoy this series that's way too early for me to make, please drop a like rating, comment down below, letting me know what other features you guys would like to see included in Star Wars Battlefront 2 from EA and DICE. And so I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.